Welcome to another edition of Counselor's Corner. I'm Jeremy Counseller, Dean of Baylor Law School, and today I am joined by second-year law student Niko Nemanic. Niko, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I want you to talk a little bit about your path to law school. I know you're a graduate of Texas A&M University, about 100 miles south of here, but talk about how you came to law school.
Yeah, so my freshman year I did at Tarleton, and so I was working two jobs, doing school online because it was during COVID. And so I was a ranch hand and a ranch manager. And so I had to learn time management pretty well, trying to balance all that. I never did online school before. And so I ended up transferring into A&M and studied agricultural economics. And so I've grown up farming and ranching, working for farmers, working for ranchers, and we've got a family farm as well. And so we kind of had to deal with a lot of stresses that farmers normally have to deal with. People wanting to take their land. For us, it was a carbon sequestration company. And for a lot of farmers, it's wind farms, solar farms, all that. And so, I was dealing with having to talk with these lawyers and everything. And they said the word eminent domain in one of these meetings. And that made me really mad. And it made me mad enough to come to law school. And so came to law school with the goal of helping farmers and ranchers. They have just so many stresses right now. Corn prices are about half of what they were in 2022. And then also they have, rising input costs. Diesel's out the roof right now. And there's a lot of issues with like passing this farm down through the generations, And farmers, they're told all their life, this family farm's been in our been in our family for 5 or 6 generations. Like, this is our legacy. Don't let our legacy die with you. And then all of a sudden, one day your kid comes up to you and they're like, I can't run this farm. I've got, this great job or whatever. And so these farmers are left, they don't really see any other options. And I want to help with that. I want to help them be able to keep their land, keep it in the family, and, keep that legacy alive.
Well, that's great. Talk about, and we'll come back to that, but talk about the kind of work you would do growing up on your family farm, and then the sort of tasks you did as a ranch hand and ranch manager.
Yeah, so we did a lot with cutting horses, and so that's a sport where you go into a herd of cattle and you take one out, and then you put your hand down to kind of let the horse keep that cow out of the herd. And so did a lot of work with horses, with cattle. My family is ranched in Central Texas. It's mostly cattle, and then we grow oats and stuff for the horses and all that. So it'd be a lot of working outside, fixing fences, plumbing, pretty much any job that needs to get done. We would do it.
Where is your family's ranch? You said Central Texas, but whereabouts?
Outside of Brownwood.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
it's west of here.
Yeah. About 2 hours west of here.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great. You've talked about what made you want to pursue a law degree with the goal of helping farmers and ranchers. What do you think that'll look like? As you take your law degree out into the world to serve farmers and ranchers, how do you think that would look?
So a lot of business planning and succession and estate planning. There's a big lack of estate planning with farmers. There's kind of a superstition that if they're at a will, it means they're going to die soon, and they don't have time to die. They've got things to do, And, they don't see lawyers as super approachable, because a lot of times when they're meeting with lawyers, it's not for a good thing. And so I'd like to be able to fix that and kind of be approachable, understand what they're going through and everything, and be able to help that way. Well,
you certainly would have credibility given the work that you've done and you having grown up as the child of a rancher, a child of ranchers. So I think that's fantastic. It really fits your background. And like you say, I don't think there's any question that farmers and ranchers are struggling in this country right now and could use somebody like you to help them. Okay. I notice you are wearing what for this podcast is, and maybe any podcast, is an unusual shirt. Tell us about your shirt.
Yes, sir. This is a shirt I got when I competed at Red Bull Rancher Strong. And
tell me what Red Bull Rancher Strong is.
It's a farm and ranch themed kind of combination between Strongman, High Rocks, and CrossFit. And so it was this big obstacle course that was designed by a man named Lane Peckus, and he was an American Ninja Warrior, also known as the Cowboy Ninja. And basically, we had to do this obstacle course where the first event was called Escape the Barn. And so we had to go down these monkey bars, like on the top of a barn, like jump down and go down these monkey bars that were descending. And then we had to go run and move 250 pounds worth of grain sacks and put them in a wheelbarrow.
This is all simulating ranching or farming. Okay.
Yes, it's all meant to be like kind of what you have to do daily life as a rancher, and it's all timed. And then we'd run over to a tractor tire. I had to flip that tire, put it up onto a tractor, and then they had logs set up, so we had to go under the short logs, over the tall logs, and then we'd run over, and they had this thing called grind the grain, which is kind of like, it's a strongman implement. It's called a Conan's wheel, and you have to hold it kind of in a zercher position and then run around and grind the grain, and then had to run over to 3 stories tall of hay bales and then ascend to that and then hit a bell, then jump down and then carry a yoke that had 2 buckets full of concrete on either side, and then run with that and set those down on hay bales, and then run over to a saddle and then grab a rope that's attached to a sled with a bullhead on top of it. And that sled was 150 pounds. I didn't think that would be that bad, but you had to drag it through the dirt. So it was pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you get that sled up to you, you had to run and then ascend the barn and hit a buzzer. And
all of this is timed.
all of it's timed.
Okay.
And so
how long did it take you to do all of that?
So my first round for the qualifiers, I did it in 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Holy smokes.
And then that qualified me for the
I would have
semifinals.
died on the first implement. I'd have fallen off the monkey bars. So good on you.
Thank you. And then I kind of figured out the course a little bit better, and I qualified for the semifinals. And in my semifinals, I did it in 2 minutes. And so I ended up getting 10th place in the Open, and which was really neat because I didn't think it would be a whole bunch of pro athletes and stuff until I got added to the group chat. There was NFL players, there was like High Rocks champions, CrossFit champions, pro strongmen. The guy who won it is a world record holder for the 50 and 200 meter or 200 foot rope climb, and a full-time Red Bull athlete. And yeah,
It sounds dangerous to me.
it was a little dangerous.
Yeah. Anybody get hurt? You didn't get hurt, did you?
I didn't get hurt, no.
Okay. No major injuries at your event.
No major injuries, but they had a full staff of like physical therapists. And
So if you fall off that 3-story pile of hay bales, stack of hay bales, do they have mats down there or anything?
they had dirt.
Just dirt?
Just dirt.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be a ranching competition if there were soft mattresses.
Exactly.
You just walk it off, I guess.
That's right.
Okay, walk it off. Now, you're doing other kinds of competitions. What are some of the other ones you've got coming up?
So I compete in strongman competitions now, and I started that my second year of law school during 4Q. And so my first one was in November, and that was in the novice lightweight weight class, which was 220 pounds. So the strongman,
Is that the cap? That's the most you can weigh? Okay.
yeah, for the lightweight class. And so got first place at that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
And then my second competition I did over spring break, and that was my first open competition. I got first place at that, which was a lot of fun. That was called the Barbarian Games.
So the lightweight category is people who weigh up to 220 pounds.
Yes, for that class it was.
So what's like heavyweight? Like,
So there's heavyweight, which usually goes up to like 275 or like 310 or so. And then there's super heavyweight, which is anything over that. And so the weight classes help a lot.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah.
Okay. You're in law school. You decide, I'm going to compete in a strongman competition. Why did you decide to do that? Like, I can see your connection to the ranching competition, but to the Red Bull Rancher Strong, but the strongman competition, what? He was like, I think I don't have enough to do. I'll go do this.
Yes, sir. So when I came to law school, I was in really good shape. I was like 260 pounds, and I could run a 7-minute mile. And I come to law school, and I lost about 40 pounds, and I got down to 220. And like that was
because you stopped working out as much. Okay.
Yeah, stopped working out as much, wasn't eating as much. And so I'm a very routine-oriented person, and so I had a routine that worked for law school, but didn't really work for me. And so then over my summer while I was interning, a 9 to 5 was, gave me enough time to start working out again and stuff. So I'd work out before work and I'd work out after work. I got in really good shape again. And so I come back to law school. I'm like, I need to change my routine. And so to kind of motivate myself to keep working out through finals and stuff, I signed up for that first Strongman competition, which was a week after finals. And so it's like forcing myself to kind of maintain everything I built up over the summer. And I really enjoyed it.
It's probably a pretty good stress reliever too.
Yeah. My academics have gone way up too since I've started this, even though I have less time devoted to law school. And I think it's just because like the mental state is so much better. And I've kind of figured out too, like if you're in law school and you don't think you have enough time to exercise, you're wrong, right? If you can run a mile in 6 minutes, that's how long it takes you to brush your teeth 3 times. Like you've got enough time to brush your teeth, even if it's just for a little bit. You've got the time to just doing something is better than nothing, And
if you can run a mile in 6 minutes.
Yeah, even if you can't though, just as much time as you can give it, and it really helps your mental state.
No, it's good advice. I mean, to make sure that there are some things you don't put aside just because you're going to have new demands on your time. I mean, lawyers are going to be busy for a long time and have a lot of demands on their time for a long time. They need to take care of themselves and take care of their other responsibilities. So I think it's the point very well made, Niko. You talked about kind of what inspired you to go to law school, and it has to do with your background growing up on a ranch. And I'm wondering how your upbringing, and because if you're growing up on a ranch, everybody's working, right? Everybody's making sure that the family business, the family ranch keeps operating. I'm wondering how all that has influenced the way you approach law school, if it's been a help or how you've had to adjust.
Yeah. One of the main things that I've taken away growing up working on farms and ranches is that, like, I understand what hard work is, right? And I've never called myself a smart person, but I've always worked really hard. And so, like my first year of law school, I kind of joke. I was still learning how to read. And I kept working.
Weren't we all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And kept working at it, know what hard work is. And, if you keep working at something, you can figure it out eventually. And that was one of the main things I've taken away from my upbringing is like hard work can get you there. It's just a matter of time and dedication and effort. And I apply that to law school by just grinding it out as hard as I can.
So is the plan when you're done with law school to go back to Brownwood or to another community? What do you think in that regard?
So it would be nice to go back to Brownwood. I've got an internship in Bryan. I don't want to live in a big city. And so I'd like to be in a smaller town.
Bryan's getting pretty big.
Bryan is getting kind of big. But, I'd like to be in a smaller town and kind of just be able to help the community and everything. And there's a big need for more people in ag law and everything. And, so.
Okay. Niko, we have come to the lightning round. The questions are silly. Your answers have to be short. Sweet or salty snacks?
Salty.
Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Drive or fly?
Drive.
Online shopping or in-store?
In-store.
Study at home, school, or coffee shop, or elsewhere?
Study at home.
You have to choose a TV show, comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Your alarm goes off in the morning. Do you get up on the first ring or do you hit snooze?
First ring.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that. Cards or board games?
Cards.
Study group or study solo?
Study solo.
In the library, do you go to a quiet floor or do you want a little background noise?
Quiet floor.
Sweet breakfast or savory breakfast?
Savory breakfast.
That tracks. Window open or AC on?
Window open.
Music while getting ready or total silence?
Music.
Beach vacation or city trip?
Beach vacation.
Phone calls or text messages?
Phone calls.
Rewatch a favorite something or try something new?
try something new.
Big friend group or a few close friends?
Big friend group.
Here's one I think is obvious. Start the day slow or jump right in?
Jump right in.
Niko, I understand you may have a question for me.
Yes, sir. I'm sure you've talked about it before on the podcast, but you mentioned that you used to study at a truck stop.
Yeah.
And you told a truck driver that you wanted to be a truck driver, and he says, kids, stay in school.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering today, if you had to pick a blue-collar job, what would it be and why?
I did kind of want to be a long-haul truck driver. I think that would be considered a blue-collar job. I admire people who can build things with their hands. And I guess if I had to choose something other than the truck driver, I would be a carpenter. I really admire people who can build furniture. I've thought about kind of taking it up as a hobby, but I don't have any aptitude, I don't think. My brother and my dad, they do have that, and I just don't. But I admire that, the ability to go and you need something and you build it. But the other thing today is very strange is it's cheaper to buy a thing than to build it. I mean, with wood where it is, and so at the price it is. But anyway, that's the kind of thing I would like. I mean, people come out to our house to fix things, and I'm like, I really wish I could do this myself, but I can't. I'm just, I don't have much of an aptitude in that way. Well, I mean, for you, what would it be? Other than being a farmer or a rancher, what would you do?
I'd like to be a plumber outside of farming and ranching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make more money as a plumber than a lawyer, I think.
I think so. Yes, sir.
Based on my experience with plumbers, there's a joke. The plumber gave a guy a bill for his services, and the lawyer said, and he says, "Hey, I'm a lawyer. I don't make this much." And the plumber says, "I know. I used to be a lawyer." Niko, thanks for coming into the podcast. Appreciate you, and proud of what you're doing in law school and in your Strongman and Rancher Strong competitions. I think it's great that you're doing all that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right.